This story begins with a girl running desperately through a village, but she's not just running. She's escaping. Behind her whispers echo. That girl is nothing but trouble. Those without stars don't belong in this world. And just like that, we know she's an outcast. She races into the forest, breathing heavily, eyes filled with fear and pain. In a hidden spot, she pulls out a small bag, but what she does next is shocking. She starts stuffing pots, bottles, and even books into that little bag, and everything fits. It's like magic. She's clearly done this before, but beneath her survival instincts, she's broken, rejected by her village. Even her parents turned their backs on her. Tears in her eyes, she whispers, "If they left me, I'll leave them too." And so, her journey truly begins. She wishes she had powers. Speed, strength, stealth, anything. But all she has is herself. And then, she stumbles across a dumping yard. Maybe there's something valuable in here? She wonders. She starts digging through trash, falls headfirst, and finds something odd. A crumpled map. And a strange trinket. Looks useless, right? But in her world, even trash could mean survival. Suddenly, a man arrives. Creepy, commanding a bunch of slime creatures. She hides, overhearing him say, "There's a bounty on her head, dead or alive." Her heart races. The people she once called her own now want her captured, or worse. Panicked, she runs again. But this time, the tiny slimes block her path. "Daddy!" She screams and bolts, only to fall off a ledge, bounce through trees, and land hard. Her hand's injured, but luckily, she still has one of those healing potions from earlier. A quick fix, but the fear remains. Then, something shifts. She reaches a river. Stripping off the dust and fear, she dives in. Not just to clean herself, but to wash off the past. She emerges stronger, more determined. That's when she remembers something. A fortune teller's words. If you want to survive, become someone else. So she does. She cuts her hair, burns her old identity. From this moment on, she's not that abandoned girl anymore. She is Ivy. As she continues her journey, she stumbles upon a tiny creature hidden in the leaves. A slime. But this one's different. It's cute, harmless, almost fragile. She pulls out her monster book, flipping through pages, but finds no official name, just one note. Even a gust of wind can kill them. She chuckles. "You really are weak, huh?" But something about it touches her heart. Suddenly a gust of wind blows it away. She panics and runs after it. And just like that, Ivy, the girl once rejected by everyone, decides to protect something even the world deems worthless. That night she lies beside the little slime, whispering her past. "In my village, kids get their powers at age 5. They're given stars. I never got one." She may not have powers, but she has heart. And sometimes, that's enough to change everything. So, there's this girl, let's call her Ivy, and she's opening up about her past. She talks about how her mom and dad both had special skills, something called star skills, that are apparently granted by the gods. Her dad had 2-star skills, which is considered pretty decent in her world. Now Ivy, well, she wasn't so lucky. On her 4th birthday, she was granted a skill too. Taming. Sounds cool, right? But there's a catch. It had 0 stars. Yep, 0. Which in her village means one brutal thing. No stars, no love. If you don't have star skills, you're basically worthless. No one cares about you. No one loves you. Heartbreaking, right? She shows this little slime creature all the stuff she owns. Nothing fancy, just a few hand-me-downs from a fortune teller and an old bag that barely works. She pours her heart out, telling the slime how everyone in her village wants her gone, even dead. But despite all that, she's happy, because she's finally found someone who listens. This slime becomes her first best friend, and she falls asleep beside it, feeling safe for once. But when morning comes, the slime is gone. Ivy wakes up devastated. That sense of loneliness crashes back in, and tears roll down her cheeks. She thinks she's alone again, but then, just as she's about to leave for the royal capital, like the fortune teller told her, she checks her map and sees something amazing. The slime is still alive, and it's marked on the map. Overjoyed, she rushes into the forest with new determination. She starts studying how to tame monsters and learns that you have to offer them some magical energy. If they accept it, they start to glow, and then you give them a name. So she tries it with the slime, and guess what? It glows. That's when Ivy looks up at the sky, notices the slime's soft blue glow, and says, "Your color. It looks just like the sky." From now on, I'll call you Sora." The moment she names it, a magical mark appears on Sora. She's officially tamed him. Ivy is thrilled. She lifts him up in the air and smiles. "Hi, Sora, my name's Ivy. From today, we're best friends." Now bonded with Sora, Ivy starts surviving on her own. She sets traps, catches mice, and yeah, she apologizes to them before skinning them. Brutal, but survival is survival. She's becoming stronger, more confident. Eventually, she sets out to travel toward a village near the royal capital, just like the fortune teller said. But just when things seem okay, the wind starts picking up again. Sora, being a slime, gets swept up easily, but Ivy grabs him just in time. Now here's the thing about these slimes. Their natural lifespan, just 1 day. They usually die from a gust of wind or a drop too high, but Ivy has been protecting Sora, and because of her care, he's still alive. But suddenly, danger. Strange noises surround them, and Ivy panics. She hides Sora in her bag and makes a run for it. Climbing up a tree, she looks down and sees something terrifying. Giant ants. And not the cute kind. These things are massive and deadly. After a tense moment hiding from those terrifying giant ants, things finally calm down. The ants leave, and Ivy breathes a sigh of relief. She tells Sora, the little slime, "We'll need to stay alert from now on. Who knows when a monster might show up again." But then she pauses. "Wait a second. Why do you feel heavier?" That's when it hits her. Sora might be growing. Either that, or she's just imagining it. Back on her feet, Ivy realizes there's a small cut on her face. She pulls out her healing potions. All of them, just to treat it. But after using them, she's got nothing left. No more healing. No backup. "I thought I had more," she mumbles. "Did I drop them somewhere?" As she keeps moving, something shocking catches her eye. Wanted posters. And on them, her real name. Not Ivy, but Famisia. Age, 7. Put up by people from her own village. Latomi. And worse? There's a massive reward for her capture. She stares at the posters, her heart pounding. Why would they offer such a huge bounty? Just for me? And then a whisper from within her own mind. "Because you're a runaway." She doesn't deny it. Maybe it's true. But with steely resolve, she rips the posters down one by one. "I'm not Famisia anymore. I'm Ivy." The story then shifts to a new village, a place buzzing with energy. Everyone here has their own special powers. Fire, water, speed, even some people with search abilities that let them track or detect things instantly. Ivy watches them all with a quiet longing. If only I had a skill too. Maybe then I'd actually be useful. While walking through the market, she spots a butcher shop. That's when an idea hits her. She pulls out the meat she's collected. "Hey sir, can I sell this?" The butcher sniffs the meat once and immediately recognizes it. Yep, he has a smell detection skill. "You've got talent, kid," he says. "You cut this cleanly." Looks professional. He buys all of Ivy's meat and gives her 100 coins for it. "Come back anytime. If you catch more, I'll buy more." Now with some money in her pocket, Ivy stops by a bakery and buys a soft bun. As the sun begins to set, she sits with Sora and breaks the bun in half. "Here, you can eat some too." But Sora reacts strangely. He starts wobbling and stretching weirdly, almost like he's rejecting the food. "Oh, I get it." Ivy laughs. "You do that when you don't want to eat something." She tries again to figure out what Sora likes, and after a few adorable hints, she finally realizes he wants boiled eggs. Again, of course. The next morning, Ivy sets out once more. On her way, she comes across a massive junkyard. Piles of garbage, broken tools, scraps everywhere. And in that mess, something useful. She finds a stash of potions, all different colors. Carefully, she starts sorting them by shade, hoping to figure out what they do. Maybe, just maybe, this junkyard holds more value than it looks. Absolutely. So Ivy's digging through a junkyard, sorting out all kinds of discarded potions when suddenly, Sora shows up and does something wild. He eats one of the blue potions, just slurps it up like candy. Ivy just stares at him. "Wait a minute, can you actually dispose of garbage?" She starts testing him. One by one, she places random things in front of him. A red potion, a flower pot, all kinds of junk. But Sora refuses most of them, until she places another blue potion, gone in a flash. And not just that, he eats every single blue potion in the area. "Hey, leave some for me too!" Ivy laughs. Later, she goes back to the butcher, sells off her fresh catch, and scores 150 coins this time. Then she swings by the bakery again, and this time the shop owner gives her an extra loaf of bread for free. People here? Honestly, pretty kind. That night, Ivy's by the river washing up, and she calls Sora to come join her, but Sora's like, nope, total water hater, so instead she pulls out their food, bread for her, blue potions for Sora. They sit by the water enjoying their meal. This food really is good, Ivy says with a smile, and if we're eating like this every day, maybe we should thank the gods. She's starting to feel like maybe this place could be home, but then everything changes. Back in town, Ivy sees men she recognizes. They're the same people hunting her down. And yep, they recognize her too. Hey kid, that magic bag of yours, show us what's inside. Ivy, she books it, fast. Running through the streets, she tells herself, they'll never know I'm Famisia. As long as I keep moving, I'll be fine. She rushes past the butcher's stall. Hey, got more mice today? Not this time. The butcher tells her some adventurers came through, bought up all the dry meat, and said they were heading out to track someone down. Yeah, not subtle. Ivy sees her wanted poster again, and it hits her. They're definitely looking for her. She dashes to the bakery. The lady greets her warmly. No bread today? I made your favorite. But Ivy spots another poster inside the shop and runs, without saying a word. Next thing we see, Ivy's up in a tree crying. This village, it's so kind. Everyone here is so nice. But I can't stay here anymore. She pulls Sora out of her bag. Do you think there's a place in this world where I can just live? Without running? She's already made up her mind. It's time to leave. Posters are everywhere now. There's no hiding anymore. As she walks away, she pulls out her map, trying to choose a direction. I don't know where they're headed, but I need to pick a path that avoids them. But where do I even go? Sora tries to point, making gestures, but Ivy doesn't get it. Are you hungry? But before she can think too much, her stomach growls too. The worst part? They have no food, no water, nothing. Still, Ivy pushes forward. And then she hears it, the sound of water. She follows the noise and finds a river, but as she approaches it, something strange happens. A tree moves. A hand stretches out from the bark. Then two men emerge from it. Ivy stares, horrified. The tree attacks, and she runs. She escapes, but not without injury. Her hand is bleeding. She's exhausted. No potions left. She collapses on the ground, whispering, Sora! And just when it seems like she might lose consciousness for good, Sora begins to glow. The mark on his body lights up. He rushes over to Ivy and rests on her wound. Now Ivy's half awake, barely hanging on, thinking, I read about slimes. They're monsters. They eat humans. Is this it? Is he going to consume me? But Sora isn't hurting her. He's healing her. And that moment changes everything. Finally, we're taken into a quick flashback. A man hears crying from inside his home. When he walks in, an old woman looks up at him and says, there's a beautiful little baby girl in your house. So now we go back, way back, to where everything really began. A little baby girl is born, and her loving parents give her the name Famisia. At first, life is beautiful. We see her bringing food to her dad and big brother while they work, laughing and eating together like a perfect family. When she starts choking on food, her dad casually uses his water magic to fill a glass for her. Yeah, this family is tight, supportive, and full of warmth. At home, her mom invites her to help with chores, and her brother encourages her to start exploring magic because, hey, she's growing up. She's already turning into a helpful part of the family. Her dad, a skilled carpenter with 3-star skills, talks about finishing his big project by the end of the year. Even her mom has 2 stars. Everyone in the family is strong, capable, hopeful, and then comes the day. Famisia is about to turn 5, and in this world, that's the age when kids receive their magical skill and star rating. There's excitement, anticipation. A woman named Luba, a concerned fortune teller, visits the family. She's been worried about Famisia's future for years. Even when Famisia was 2, Luba had a strange feeling. What if she never develops magic? But young Famisia? She's thrilled. Magic is real? That's amazing. Now we jump to the present. The entire family is at a sacred church ceremony. A priest tells them it's time. Famisia steps forward, touches the holy water, and her fate is revealed. She's been granted the Tamare skill, the rare power to tame beasts and monsters. Everyone is excited until the priest checks the stars. 0. Famisia has no stars. The entire room falls silent. The priest looks disgusted. A child in our village with a skill but no stars? How shameful. Her parents are stunned. Her dad is furious. How is this possible? She's my daughter. I have 3 stars. My wife has 2. Even our other children have stars. How can she have nothing? He lashes out. throws her toy across the room in a rage. "Are you even my daughter?" Femisia's mom tries to calm him down, but he storms off. Even her brother turns on her, kicking her out of the house. And just like that, Femisia's world shatters. The villagers, they're worse, whispering, judging. The kids throw rocks at her. "You're useless! Get out of here!" Broken and unwanted, she runs into the forest, rain pouring down. Cold, hungry, and alone, she finds a cave and tries to start a fire with her weak magic, but it barely flickers before dying out. She keeps trying, over and over, until she's too tired to keep going. When she opens her eyes again, Luba is there. Luba tells her gently, "Your magic is weak. If you push too hard, it could cost you your life." She hands Femisia a bag, some books, and food. Then she finally confesses. She'd seen this coming in her predictions. Not every detail, but she knew Femisia would suffer. But Luba doesn't just feel pity. She gives her hope. She tells Femisia, "Your magic may not be strong, but it isn't useless. You just need to learn how to use it." And with that, she gives her the mission: go to the royal capital. On the way, you'll meet people you can trust. Tell them the truth. You'll be okay. She also tells her something profound. There was a time when no one had stars or magic, and people still found purpose. You don't need stars to matter. Fast forward 3 years and we're back with Ivy. Because yes, Femisia is Ivy now. She's scavenging through garbage, finding blue potions, and surviving off her hunts. She's learned how to live, but trouble isn't far behind. She spots strangers nearby and hides, sensing danger. Something's definitely wrong. Cut to Latomi village and word is spreading fast. Luba is dead. Someone says she froze to death. But Ivy? She knows Luba. And something doesn't add up. We see Ivy's father again. He tells the village chief, "My daughter's back. She's here. She's going to bring disaster." And the chief replies without hesitation, "Then you know what we must do. Starless children have no right to live in this world." And just like that, the mob mentality begins. The chief stirs up fear and hate. Luba cared for that cursed girl, and now she's dead. The child brought doom. And just when you think it couldn't get any darker, the village chief orders everyone to capture and kill Femisia. Yeah, her own village, the people she grew up with. Even her father, the man who once held her hand, tries to strike her down with a hammer. But just before the blow lands, she wakes up. It was a nightmare. But the fear? Still real. She glances over and sees Sora next to her and whispers, "Was that dream a warning?" The next morning, Ivy wakes up to find Sora literally on her, purring with weird new energy. And even more surprising, her injury is completely healed. She blinks in shock. "Wait, did you heal me?" Sora responds with strange noises. And Ivy realizes he's starting to talk. She laughs, amazed. "You know what? Even if the world hates me, even if I'm the unwanted child, as long as I have you, Sora, I'll be okay." But something's changed. Sora looks bigger. He's bouncing around with new strength. Ivy's like, "Yup, that's definitely from all those blue potions you've been devouring." She knows she needs more money again, but if she hunts in the wild, monsters might find her instead of the other way around. So she heads back to the dumping grounds with Sora, who's of course still hungry. There, Ivy stumbles on something unexpected: clothes. It's silly, but she's thrilled. "Finally, I can change. I've been wearing the same outfit forever." But Sora glares at her. Okay, we'll find you food first." Soon she discovers a huge crate of potions sorted by color. She pulls out all the blue ones and offers them to Sora, who gulps them down happily. But then, wait a second, he grabs a red potion and eats that too. Ivy's stunned. "Can you eat red potions too?" So she starts experimenting. She offers him different types of potions. Nothing works. Then she mixes two. And boom, he eats them without hesitation. Now that's progress. With their gear ready and Sora's belly full, Ivy sets off on her next journey. And honestly, she's enjoying herself. Who knew traveling could be this fun? At night, the vibe turns wholesome. Ivy shares a small dinner with Sora, but classic Sora, he scarfs down all the potions and still wants more. "I can't keep up with your appetite." So to keep him calm, she tells him a story, a legend from her childhood. Long ago, 2 kingdoms were at war. To predict the outcome, their kings summoned the world's greatest seers. But the visions they saw were terrifying. This war could destroy the world. So the seers used one final magic spell to try and stop it, one so ancient it's been forgotten, except for the prophecy that one child from another world could someday cast it again. The next morning, Ivy wakes up to a horror show. All her potions are gone. She turns to Sora, fuming. I know this was you. Time to refill her stock. She sets a trap in the forest, hoping to catch a mouse. But when she checks it, it's not a mouse. It's a snake monster. Huge, venomous, dangerous. Ivy freezes, but she quickly tosses a cloth over it, binds it with rope, and throws it into her bag. You're going to be worth something. On her way back, she smells blood. Following the scent, she finds a wounded horse, and nearby, 4 injured travelers, barely breathing. She panics and rushes to the nearby village guild to report it. Inside, a girl at the counter asks about the monster Ivy's carrying. Oh, that? Total accident. I set a trap for a mouse and got a snake. But when Ivy mentions the bodies in the woods, everyone goes quiet. A guild officer pulls her aside and asks for every detail. It was definitely a monster attack. The horse was slashed. The men, gone. The officer thanks her and says, once we confirm the location, you'll get your reward. Before leaving, Ivy's handed an official document and asked to return it later. Now time to sell that snake. At a monster shop, the seller inspects it and smirks. This one's rare and it's a female, so even rarer. He offers her 3 guidles. Ivy does the math. 3 guidles? That's what I get for selling 3 mice. After earning a surprising amount of money from selling the rare snake monster, Ivy is told by the merchant that if she ever catches more like it, she should bring them straight to him. Cut to the next scene. Ivy is back at the dumping grounds, scavenging for food for Sora. But instead of food, she stumbles across something incredible. 21 magical bags. Sora, meanwhile, is feasting happily on some leftover blue potions he found. Now here's the twist. Ivy starts experimenting with these magical bags. She finally manages to categorize them and stacks them all perfectly into one bag. Victory. She heads back into town, proud and loaded with loot. But just then, one of the guild staff finds her. He confirms that the monster info she gave earlier was accurate. It was a group of ogres. And even their king. Adventurers have already gone out to take care of them, and Ivy is advised to stay put in the village. For now. She heads to the town hall to claim her reward. But of course, she can't remember which of her dozens of bags she stuffed the paperwork into. After a mini panic, she finds it. And boom, she's rewarded with 5 guidle and 2 gold coins, which is way more than she expected. Ivy does some mental math and realizes she's finally starting to get ahead financially. That night, she's sitting by a cozy fire, studying a map and planning the next leg of her journey. She gives Sora some potions, but admits they'll have to spend the night in the woods. Monsters are everywhere, and it's too dangerous to travel in the dark. She sighs and says, but when I'm with you, Sora, it doesn't feel scary anymore. The next morning, something's wrong. Her trap is broken. Again. Ugh! Who keeps messing with my traps? I need to make money. Suddenly, Sora bolts off into the forest, and Ivy, worried, chases after him. What they find next is unexpected. A massive injured monster lying helplessly on the ground. Ivy's first instinct is fear, but then she recognizes it from her guidebook. It's a rare beast. An Adendella. The creature is still alive, barely hanging on. Ivy gently touches it and whispers, I know you're scared. I was too when I thought I was dying, but I can't help you. Just then, Sora steps in. He expands his body and covers the monster like a protective shield, and unbelievably, starts healing it. After some time, the beast opens its eyes, fully healed. It slowly walks toward Ivy and gives her a warm hug. Ivy's heart melts. Despite its terrifying strength, this monster is gentle with her. She affectionately names it Seal and introduces both herself and Sora. But they're still in dangerous territory. When Ivy hears voices nearby, she quickly hides Sora in her magical bag, even though she knows he barely fits. And Seal slips into the bushes. Moments later, she approaches the city gates where a guard stands watch. Now this guard, he's no joke. He stops a suspicious traveler right in front of her, slices open the man's bag, and exposes illegal alcohol. Ivy, watching from a distance, realizes Sora had sensed the bad guy even before she did, but now it's her turn to pass. The guard questions her. Who are you? Whose child are you? Where are you from? Ivy panics until a bug lands on his shoulder. In the weirdest turn of events, this awkward moment diffuses the tension. She blurts out she's from Latamy Village and claims she's alone. The guard mistakes her for a boy and offers kind words. You've made it this far, kid. Work hard, become an adventurer, and you'll do just fine. Inside the city, Ivy stops at a meat stall and asks if they sell rat meat. The vendor laughs and says she sells all kinds, but warns Ivy, If you're hunting in the forest, stay away from Nunoshi. That beast will kill you without warning. Ivy silently notes, as long as I stay in town, I won't need to sleep outside and risk running into Nunoshi. She explores the city, amazed by how big it is. But she's also a little nervous when she runs into another guard. Thankfully, he just gives her a residency permit, allowing her to stay in the area. That night, Ivy lays out a blanket near some tents and thinks, maybe I should buy a tent of my own soon. The next day, she heads to the market again, this time hoping to get one. She sees a sign offering secondhand tents and wonders if she can afford one. Just then, a man named Octo walks up and jokingly asks if she's shopping without a tent or any supplies. He thinks Ivy is a poor, clueless village boy. Another person joins them, Valivra, who scolds Octo for teasing. The group chats and introduces themselves, still assuming Ivy is a boy. And that's how Ivy's next chapter begins, meeting new people, navigating city life, and slowly, cautiously, building a new future. So now Ivy is out in the market looking to buy a tent. And guess who's helping her? Yep, Octo and Valivra, our friendly duo from earlier. Octo offers her a choice. You want something light or something sturdy? Ivy's super careful though. She tells him her budget is just 5 guidles and she's not willing to touch her golden coins. That surprises everyone. Wait, how does a kid like you even have that much money? Valivra jokes. But hey, for 5 guidles, Ivy actually gets a pretty solid premium quality tent. They all check it out, and Ivy finally sets up her little shelter. Inside, she releases Sora and smiles. It's their first real home. But of course, peace doesn't last long. When Ivy steps out to grab some potions, she sees a group of guys standing around, and one of them is pointing at her tent. Hey, that's my tent. That kid stole it. Ivy is shocked and denies it, but the guy doesn't back down. No way a kid like you could afford that. You clearly stole it. Things get worse when they start rummaging through her bag, and they find Sora. What the heck is this creature? The group corners her and threatens her life if she tries to run. Just when things are about to get ugly, a guard shows up. Oi! What's going on here, you punks? The guys try to lie, claiming Ivy stole the tent. But the guard shuts them down hard. Do you even know who helped her get that tent? Octo and Valivra. You want to explain to them how this is your tent? Realizing they're in deep trouble, the guys try to escape, but backup guards arrive and arrest them on the spot. The guard turns to Ivy. You okay, kid? She nods but asks, how did you know the tent was mine? Turns out Octo had informed the patrol ahead of time, asking them to keep an eye out for a small kid setting up a tent. Ivy can't help but smile. As a bonus, the guard even gives her a blue potion as a little gift. Later that night, Ivy and Sora are relaxing in their cozy new tent. She's laid out a bunch of potions for him. But of course, Sora wants that one rare potion still in her bag. Ivy laughs and says, nope, that one's for me. The next morning, Ivy wakes up early and heads out. The guards greet her cheerfully, and one even offers her some free berries. It's like she's slowly becoming a part of this community. Back in the forest, Ivy notices one of her traps is broken again. But just then, Seal shows up, proudly dropping 9 rabbits at her feet. Ivy is so touched she hugs Seal tight, then quickly bundles the meat to sell in town. She sells the rabbit meat for 855 dails, a big haul, but as she leaves, she notices the guards chatting about her earnings. Wait, how do they know how much I made? She hides in a corner, confused, but Valivra shows up and explains everything. Relax, it was all Captain Octo. He just wanted to make sure you were doing okay. Ivy's genuinely shocked by how much people here seem to care about her. After everything she went through in her old village, it's overwhelming. Later, she spots Zero fruits at a vendor, fruits native to her hometown. But something's off. The vendor explains that this year's crop was terrible and blames the village head. Apparently the harvest was mismanaged, and now the villagers are even being rationed on food. Hearing all this, Ivy starts to realize something really bad is happening back home, and it might not just be mismanagement. Something deeper is going on. The vendor adds that Luba, a guardian, used to protect the Zaro fruit fields. But this time, the timing went wrong, and the entire batch was ruined.